A few years ago, I saw someone well known in the menswear world. I'll tell you exactly who in a moment, in a sharp navy suit, but something was different. I immediately thought, how the hell does he do that? He looks like I can trust anything he says. He looks like he's the boss. What I discovered about why this happened will change how you think about every suit you buy. There's actually a psychological factor behind his instant presence that has nothing to do with how much his suit costs. And I'm going to prove it with a Princeton study that will absolutely blow your mind. First, let me hit you with this. We judged someone's competence in just 129 milliseconds based on their clothing. Princeton researchers showed participants the same face paired with different outfits. Expensive versus modest clothing. Even when warned to ignore the clothes, participants consistently rated the same face as more competent when paired with what appeared to be expensive clothing. But here's the twist that changes everything. And this is where that story I mentioned becomes crucial. It wasn't actually about the expense of the clothing. What I discovered next will explain why a correctly chosen and well-styled suit can make you look more successful. But first, you need to understand what your brain is actually reading when it sees a suit. We've been programmed to associate suits with business success and competence. But once you're wearing a suit, specific visual cues determine whether that association works in your favor or against you. This means you can leverage these triggers without spending a fortune. I will show you exactly how in principle too. Here's what those psychological triggers are actually reading. Intentionality, not wealth. And I'm about to prove this with a real example that will make it crystal clear. When you wear a well-fitted suit, you're showing that you've thought about your appearance, understand the occasion, and made an effort. This explains why your coworker in the perfectly fitted suit gets noticed positively, while the guy in the casual sweater blends into the background. The crucial insight: an expensive designer suit that doesn't fit properly signals carelessness, while a mid-tier suit tailored to your body measurements that fits perfectly signals you know what you're doing. The investment should be in tailoring, not just the initial purchase. But here's where it gets interesting, and this connects to that person I mentioned in the beginning. The third principle: think in systems, not individual pieces. Here's the framework that actually works, and I'm going to give you the exact formula. Start with fit. This is at least 80% of the impression. Next, choose versatile colors like navy or charcoal that work in multiple contexts. Finally, maintain the details. Clean shoes, pressed shirts, and well-chosen accessories like ties and pocket squares. Think of it this way. A navy suit, white shirt, a great silk tie, and black or dark brown leather shoes create a system that works together, while random expensive pieces create visual chaos. This systematic approach means every piece supports the others, creating a cohesive impression that reads as polished professional. Now, about that person I mentioned in the beginning, this is where everything comes together. Perfect example, Hugo Jacomet from Sartorial Talks. The first time I saw him, I immediately thought, this guy looks like he knows what he's talking about. That's the power of mastering fit, choosing appropriately, and maintaining the details. Most of his suits are from Chiffonelli, it seems, but even made to measure or well-fitting off-the-rack suits with quality structure and fabric absolutely work if you know how to style it. So yes, suits can make you look rich, but only because they make you look competent, intentional, and context-aware. The point isn't about finding cheap or expensive suits. It's about understanding that the same principles that make expensive suits work can be applied at any price point. The same guy in an ill-fitting and badly styled suit just doesn't make it. Speaking of intentionality, next week I'm showing you how to style the 3 essential gray suit shades with the same intentionality we just talked about. The aspect that's proven to make you look sharp. Most guys think gray is boring, but when you understand how to style light gray, mid gray, and charcoal with purpose, they become your secret weapon for any situation. You won't want to miss that.